Hey guys, hello, and happy Sunday. I hope you are having a glorious Sunday. As you can tell, we are starting off in the kitchen because we have some yummy things cooked up, literally going to be cooked up later today. But before we get into all of that, if you don't know who I am Tara with the Savage Wild, and you can learn a little bit more about me, my shop, my all my handmade items and more handmade items that are being added to the shop in that description box down below. Checking out the website, www.thesavagewild.com. Maybe checking out my homies over on Patreon, Savage Wild, checking me out on Instagrams where I post shenanigans and cool stuff, I think, anyway, which is at the Savage Wild AZ over on the IG. Hey, Sherry Bugs here. Says hi there. Blessed Sunday. Yes. How are you? And Shapeshifters here. This is got here in time today. What? And Lilith is like, you scared me. Sudden wild Terra appeared. That's right. I'm here. Anyway, so yay. Hello, you guys. So excited for today because I've made lemon meringue pie before, but I haven't made anything like outside of that as a meringue. So this will be an interesting experiment. We shall see how it turns out, and it'll be live, no less. So anyway, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I like experimenting and concocting in the kitchen. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, well, on Thursdays, I put out a poll for all of my YouTube subscribers. You know, you'll see it on my channel's page. You'll also see it on the YouTube membership page. You'll also see it on the Patreon page. So if you're a YouTube member or a patron or both, you get more votes basically in the process. So if you're like really aching to see something in the Sunday live chat, then those extra votes do help. But it seemed almost unanimous. I mean, there were some votes for some other things, but according to Patreon and YouTube members and the majority of the subscribers voting on my channel page here on YouTube, they wanted to see strawberry mint meringue pie. And I'm like, I kind of want to see some strawberry mint meringue pie. So here we go. And I'm actually going to exchange mint for peppermint. I think it'll be really good. Plus, the peppermint grows wild in the front yard. And I figured the fresher, the better. So, okay. I normally make a tea at the very beginning of our chat, but I am going to make something more in honor of this strawberry mint meringue pie. So I'm going to make a strawberry drink. And for that, I need some of the puree that I'm going to make for the pie. And I'm actually going to make it into a drink. This is also a drink I haven't made before, but I was kind of like concocting it in my brain. And I was like, well, what if I added this? And what if I added, ooh, that could be delicious. So I don't know how my tea is going to turn out. I don't know how the pie is going to turn out, but that's the fun of baking and cooking and making stuff, is like, you don't know how it's going to turn out. You can kind of guesstimate. And then when it turns out fabulous or whatever, it's like, ooh. So anyway, before we get started with all that, I have to put my hair back because hair is not what I want in my food. So, Lilith's like, nom, 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 sending good baking juju. Siren's like, hey, Tara and everyone, what's up, Siren? Okay, so we're getting the hair out of the way. I brought my little butterfly clips that I think like match my little frou-frou I'm wearing. Sometimes you just feel like wearing frou-frou, you know? You want floaty stuff. Plus, stuff's starting to ripen in the garden, and I just feel like, you know, a little fairy running through the garden. I'm like, collecting my tomatoes. And oh, by the way, my cayenne peppers are starting to turn red. Like, I was like, oh, so I'm super excited. And my squash, my Thai squash is starting to like actually like ripen. One of them already fell off the vine. It might have been a little premature, so I have it upstairs where it's much warmer in a windowsill right now. I'm going to do a little rotation every few days, get that squash nice and ready. And I don't know, maybe we'll have that during the live chat, see what I can make out of a mystery Thai squash, because these are the contraband seeds for my contraband garden, you know, that my friend brought back from Thailand. So I have not tasted this type of squash before. Don't really know. So that'll be another fun experiment. um, Sherry Book says, have you ever thought of making gin from local juniper? I have actually, because I was like, well, I know that juniper berries are like the one of the main ingredients in making gin. I just don't I just don't like gin, but I'm like, sometimes things I don't like when I make it myself or it's like using local, flora, then sometimes it tastes pretty good. So I don't know. I have had that actually in the back of my mind. I'm like, but what if you made your own gin? Maybe you would like that gin. I'm like, that's true. So yeah, that isn't out of the realm of possibility. So um Siren says, same, I'm against alcohol. Well, I mean, Riley doesn't really drink alcohol at all, but I like my glass of wine, every once in a while. And most of the alcohols that we have here, they're used in making tinctures. So it's like, wow, you guys got a lot of vodka. Yeah, that's for tincture. So, but yeah, I mean, I personally, I'm not against alcohol. I like a beer every once in a while. It's a good beer, or like when my dad was here, I'll share a beer with my dad, or like have my glass of wine. But other than that, I don't know. I'm not a super alcoholic person, but I don't know if I made my own gin. Maybe I would like my own gin. Sherry Bug says, I don't care for it really, but it could come in handy for herbal tinctures. Very true. Like I said, we have some alcohols up there, which are mostly for making tinctures. Some of it's for like a little bit of flavoring and baking, not that you would get like drunk off of baked goods, but some of it's like, like the amaretto. Amaretto doesn't have a whole lot of alcohol content in it. People like it for baking because it has that sweet almondy flavor, and it's really good for certain like breads and pies and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. Maybe one day I shall make some gin. Okay, I'm gotta put on my safety gear, um, so I don't get my frou-frou all dirty. Okay, let's get these all situated. Okay, oops, I'm covering my microphone. There we go. Okay, all right. Hair's back. No hair in the food. We got our little apron on. I already pre-washed my hands because I am going to get my hands into stuff. So you guys want to make sure that you want to scrub up, unless you want to add extra seasoning to whatever it is that you're making. Okay, so before we get started in everything, I want to say thank you to everybody who hangs out during these Sunday live chats. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I love hanging out with you guys. Like, I really do, genuinely. So thank you to everybody who's also subscribed to the channel, all 11,800 and some odd folks. That's crazy. I mean, awesome, but also crazy. Wow. And also thank you to my YouTube members. As they pop in, you see they have a little colored wolf head next to their name. So thank you to Shadowlands Radio and to Costalini and to Chang Rainbow Lotus, Jonathan Cleese, Nancy from Crohn's Intuition, and my homies over on Patreon, Carmen and Adrian and Joel and Brandy and Lily and Crystal and Easy Does It and Dana and MSE, my newest member. Okay, all right. So first things first, because I kind of want some tea. So we're going to have to puree some things. You guys have a couple of options with pie crust. If you're feeling fancy and you feel like you're like, I want to do this like 100% handmade from top to bottom, then you're going to want to make your own pie crust. In the essence of time for our live chat, I have a pre-made pie crust. So it's a Marie Callender's pie crust. I know, for shame. But in the interest of time, like I said, I already have that pie crust. All I have to do is actually pop it in the oven and like toast it up, because we're going to be pouring some puree into it because we're making meringue. So if you were going to be making your own pie crust, you would need 5 ounces of all-purpose flour or your favorite flour, totally up to you. You would need 1 ounce of sugar, 2.5 ounces of butter. Make sure it's chilled, and 1 egg yolk. Mix it all together. Roll that dough out. Smush it into like your either a tin or glass pie pie glass. I'm like, what's the word? Pie glass. Yes. And then of course you would want to pre-bake that as well. Even if you do make your own pie shell, you still have to pre-bake it. So not fully bake it, just pre-bake it so that it's nice and like crusted a little bit, because we're not fully baking a pie in it. So it's not like we're making pumpkin pie and you're pouring the pumpkin pie puree and it's going to be in the oven for like an hour or, whatever it is at the altitude that you guys are at. But since this is a meringue and it's mostly chilled, and the only time the meringue goes into the oven is only going to be for 10 minutes. And that's just to brown the tips of the meringue, the floofy stuff that's basically on top of the pie. So because of that, you want to bake your pie shell. Now, remember, if you are doing that and you are making your own pie shell, you might want to put some baking beans or something heavy that can withstand 400-degree heat in the oven, and you place that in the bottom of the shell, because without any weight in the middle of your pie shell, it starts to like bubble up and rise, which is like kind of funky. So that'd be kind of weird for a pie. So anyway, so you want to do that. Okay. I am going to actually maybe throw my pie crust in, so that it has time to cool down, so that as we're making the filling for the meringue, it'll already be nice and cool, and then I can pour that in. Okay, so again, if you guys want to watch me do it, I'm going to take you guys over there. You can go see it. Sherebook says, I've made amaretto chocolate truffles for the holidays. Those are so good. I have had amaretto chocolate truffles. Freaking delish. And one of my favorite things to do is actually like bake things and make things for people for the holidays. So harder to like ship baked goods, but if like people are nearby or families nearby, I'm like, hey, Merry Christmas cookies, Merry Christmas muffins. Shapeshifter says, I'm thinking of buying a ballistic Kevlar vest because I want to learn complicated dishes. Wow, it's very complicated. Siren says, speaking of, where is Costalidi and Time Harvest? Well, everybody's at different time zones, so everybody kind of comes in at different times, I suppose. So no worries. Shapeshifter says, cooking is scary to me. Well, I mean, if you're dealing with explosive ingredients, I probably would be pretty scared too. But it's not scary. I think, and this is like me when I was younger, the intimidation was, I am the perfectionist in me. I wanted it to be perfect the first time I try anything. And that's just not like reality. I know our brain thinks that's reality. That's not reality. The only way let's take my banana nut bread, which I think I have perfected the banana nut bread, and pumpkin pie. I don't think anybody beats my pumpkin pie. But do you know how many pumpkin pies I had to make that pumpkin pie as delicious as it is? I wrote it down. 7. It was 7 pies. 7 pies that were like, one of them that was like, I'll just straight to the trash. I don't even know what wrong with that pie, but I learned from each one of those mistakes to ultimately create like the best pumpkin pie ever. And the same with my banana nut bread. I was like using a recipe and I kept tweaking the recipe, and I was like, this recipe is kind of bunk, but I couldn't figure out how to do it on my own. And then I found another recipe. It tasted slightly better, but then I realized, wait a minute, I could take what I like in this recipe and what I like in this recipe, and I could combine it. And the first time I tried it, it actually was um, it was too mushy. And that molded pretty fast. I was like, oh, okay. But once I did it the second time, oh, like hallelujah. So yeah, I mean, it's all just knowing that when I go in, I'm gonna try to make this thing, and if it doesn't come out right, I'll figure out what went wrong. I'll write those notes down, and maybe if it's not poisonous, I'll feed it to the dog, or I'll feed it to the compost, or throw it out for the birds, and maybe I'll just bury it underneath a tree. I don't know. You know, somebody's going to benefit from that failure. um, and then you try again. So yeah, I think it's okay. The only time I've actually literally exploded something in the kitchen was when I walked away from. I was making sauce for lasagna, and I was mixing it in a bowl. And it was back before I had my really cool KitchenAid mixer, my stand mixer, and it was a hand mixer. And I had leaned the hand mixer on the bowl like a dodo. And I turned my back, and the mixer like went up, and all the sauce hit the ceiling of my apartment, all over the cabinets. It looked like a crime scene. It looked like some Italian got murdered in my kitchen, because there was pasta sauce everywhere, and it took a while to clean up, but that's the only explosion that's ever happened. um, let's see. Sharon says, I don't think a bulletproof vest is going to help you, shapeshifter. I don't know. I guess it depends on what we're making. Lilith's like, what? No baked goods for me? I think they would be stale by the time they got to you. Shapeshifter says, Siren, a bomb defusal suit then? She's like, how bad are you? He's like, I'm Gordon Ramsay's worst nightmare. Nice. Sherrybuck says, our family pumpkin pie recipe we got from my great-grandmother, who got it from her neighbor in the 1920s. That's cool. That's freaking cool. Riley actually has a few of his grandmother's recipes, which I've been able to like make in the kitchen here. And I think that's so cool. Like older recipes, especially when they're passed down by family members. Dude, I think that's so cool. Siren says, Mom always doubled the spices whenever she made pumpkin pie. Same. That's probably why I think I got the best pumpkin soup. It's got lots of flavor. Okay, well, let's head over and put this pie in the oven. Well, I guess maybe you guys can be here in front of the oven then. All right, we're going to set this baby to 400, like so. And then we come up here and, ooh, wow, I made such a beautiful pie crust. Thanks, Marie Calendar. We're supposed to poke some holes at the bottom here. And the reason for that is so that as it bakes for about 15 minutes or so, the bottom is less likely to rise up. Now, if I had some baking beans or something weighted down, I'd probably put it on top. But since it's a pre-made crust, they don't usually rise like that usually. So I think we'll be okay. But I'll go ahead and just double check the suggested cooking time. Anywho, yeah, 12 or 15 minutes. That's cool beans. All right. So while we're waiting for the oven on that, back to over here where we're going to cause a ruckus. A kitchen ruckus. The best kind. All right. So here are some things that you're going to need for your filling and for the meringue, which I have written down for myself. So you're going to need about, you don't have to use strawberries, by the way. You can use raspberries or anything that's in season. I really like strawberries. I like raspberries too, but I think everybody's in agreement in the household that they like strawberries. So that's why we're using strawberries. You're going to want about 28 ounces of strawberries. Now, I would love to be using strawberries from my own garden, but they just didn't make it this year. We'll try again next year. So anyway, you want 28 ounces. Each of these packets is 16 ounces. So it's like roughly like 32 ounces, whatevs. I'm going to use the extra puree to actually make my tea. So yay, it's a win-win. Okay, you're also going to need some cornstarch or arrowroot flour. It's totally up to you. So you can use arrowroot, you can use cornstarch, whatever is your flavor. You're going to need some sugar. Now, if you would like to use raw sugar or, depending on whatever you need for sugar, just find something sugary, something sweet. Also going to need a lemon. So let me grab that lemon out of the fridge. Okay. And I am unfortunately out of lemons from my neighbor. My neighbor had given me a bunch of lemons from her tree, but I have used up all her lemons. I used them up when I was actually making lemon meringue pie. It came out so good. Okay, so you're going to need a lemon because you're going to need some lemon juice. And I'm not going to compost the rind or throw it away because I'm actually going to use it in making some St. Clement's vinegar, which is a very good household cleaner, like really destroys germs and all that stuff. So you basically take orange peels and lemon peels, let them soak in vinegar, and it becomes like a powerhouse cleaner. So save those rinds. Okay, you're also going to need some eggs. Bam. And you're going to need some butter. And even better, if you are supporting a local farm and getting their farm fresh eggs, or if you have your own chickens, more power to you. And some butter. Okay, so to make the meringue, you're going to need egg whites. So to make the filling, we're going to use the egg yolks. So you're going to need something to separate your yolk from your white. You could use your hands too, hence washing your hands. So totally up to you. And then for that, you also need some sugar, and I suggest, and not every recipe asks for it, but I suggest using cream of tartar when making the fluffy meringue because it just makes it fluffier and glossy and awesome. So I just kind of suggest it. And cream of tartar, FYI, used in the winemaking process. And then some fresh mint. Now, I don't have the mint here yet because I want it to be as fresh as possible. So we're actually going to go out to the front yard and go get it when the time is right. So, okay. All right. Let's get down to brass tacks here. Siren says, my great-grandmother made molasses cookies. I remember making molasses cookies with my mom and my grandma, and those are good. Molasses crinkle cookies. Shapeshifter said, my grandma's recipes were simple, but they don't taste the same when we cook it. It's weird. Maybe she was putting in some extra love magic. Sherry Bug's like, molasses cookies. I think Depression era recipes are really interesting. They really knew how to stretch a meal. Seriously. That's why I've tried to get like older cookbooks and like older recipes that are kind of Depression era because money was tight and ingredients were tight, it didn't mean that there was lacking in any flavor with like baking and cooking. It's like learning to make abundance when everybody else says there isn't any abundance. I think that's just amazeballs. And Siren said oranges, maybe. Yeah, oranges and lemons. You could also, you kind of need there's a little bit more citric acid in the lemon, the acids in a lemon there, and there is an orange, but you could totally use orange in this recipe if you would like. But also, yes, orange peels and lemon peels, really good for St. Clement's vinegar. Shapeshifter says, we had chickens when I was small. They used to chase me around, not getting chickens, not alive at least. Yeah, when I used to stay it for summers at my grandparents' house, they had a bunch of chickens, and it was my favorite thing to like feed them and go collect their eggs in the morning. And they were all different colored eggs and speckled eggs, and I called them Easter eggs. So every morning to me was like going on an Easter egg hunt, because there was blue eggs, brown eggs, white eggs, speckled brown eggs, speckled blue eggs, weird speckly eggs, pink eggs, like yellow eggs. It was pretty cool. And then when I was like 4, I would try to make my version of like an egg McMuffin for my grandpa before he would leave for work. And that was like my favorite. I felt like all grown up, because I got to stand on a stool and use the microwave, and stand on a stool and use the stove. I felt like a grown up. It was fun. um, Shapeshifter says, cooked chicken is fine though. And Siren said one of the nurses here raises chickens and quails. Ooh, cool. Fabulous. Okay. Let's see. Let me get my notes turned around here. Okay. So let's go ahead and puree these guys. But first I got to take the tops off. So this is my little compost canister. I just kind of fill it up with stuff that has to go out to Oscar the compost. All right. So I'm gonna plug my little blender in here. I'll turn the camera around in just a moment so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. The counter is quite full because we're gonna be doing lots of stuff. All right. Just pop that top. I already like pre-ran these underwater, by the way, so I washed off any ookie that might be on these things. Shapeshifter is wondering if Siren works in a hospital. She says, I live in an assisted living facility. It's similar to a homeless shelter. Let's see, how's our other? Oh, we're at 2:54, so we need just a little bit more time. Okay. Chop, chop, chop it up. Chop it up. Oh, this is gonna be so good. So good. Now, what you guys could do with these strawberry tops is actually plant them. Did you know? You could actually get strawberry plants from strawberry tops. Filling up the blender. This is a nice little groove. You know, part of the reason I like baking and cooking is you kind of just like, you know, how I like connecting with like trees and plants and animals and stuff like that. To me, I am connecting to like the individual ingredients, you know, before they become the meal. So like right now, just kind of connecting to the strawberry. That strawberry is a little mushy. But like connecting to the strawberries and connecting to their energy, like feeling into it, feeling into the lemon. And I don't know, it's just kind of like meditative, I guess. And just because I've done a lot of baking and cooking for so many years, I can kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like taste things in my mind. Like this tea that I'm going to make. Like I know what raw milk tastes like. I know what the maple syrup that I'm going to put in it tastes like, and vanilla. And I kind of like mesh those flavors in my mind so that it's like I taste it before I even make it. And maybe that like harkens back to when I was a track athlete, and I had this coach who was like, you have to run the race 1,000 times before you step foot on the track. And that's kind of what I do with baking is I go over all the ingredients, how everything is going to taste individually. I put it together. It doesn't mean that I'm like a pro, and that everything always comes out great every time, but I get kind of an idea. It gives me kind of an idea of what's going to happen. If I start adding more sugar, how's that going to affect everything else? Ooh, that guy's, never mind. Or if I add more flour or less flour, or I leave it on the stove too long, or I don't mix it enough on the stove, like what could happen? So I don't know. It's fun for me. I don't know. I guess that's not everybody's bag, but I like it. And then I also get to just like show gratitude. Thanks for the abundance that's all around us. I know not everybody has access to a grocery store or can have a big, massive garden, and so I'm thankful for all that we have, and that's what I think of as I'm chopping these strawberries. Thinking like, back in the day, how difficult it was for people to get strawberries out of season unless it was canned and they got it from like a neighbor or family member. Let me get a little paper towel for my hands. Um, Shapeshifter was asking Siren if the people are kind where she's at. And Sherrybug said, "Really? I need to try that." And Shapeshifter says, "In my country, people who run these facilities are really shady." And she said, "For the most part, yes, but there are a few crazies I try to stay away from." He's like, "Okay, well, that's fine." She says, "It's a family run business. The owners are husband and wife, and the head nurse is the husband's sister. Another nurse is the husband's stepdaughter." He's like, "That sounds great." And she said, "Another nurse is the head nurse's daughter in law." Well, that's cool. That's really cool. You are too mushy, my friend, but Oscar's gonna like you. Okay, we're getting to a point where I might need to start pureeing these things down. Let's see. You're okay. You're not okay. Okay. Let's get these guys in the trash can. Okie dokie. So yeah, Sherrybug about the strawberry tops. Yeah, that's why don't throw your tops away. I mean, you can always give them to the compost, your hungry compost, but plant the tops just like you would plant regular strawberry seeds, because there are lots of seeds on that top, and then as this decomposes, it actually makes a wonderful soil for the strawberry as it begins to grow. Don't you know? Boop, boop. Boop. It seems like the oven is ready for our pie crust or pie shell. Okie dokie. All right, I'm gonna rinse this off. Let's get some of that strawberry stain off. Okay. All All right. So I'm going to quickly put this guy in the oven. And I have him on a nice baking sheet so he can do his thing. All right. Bake away, my friend. We'll set a timer for 12 minutes. Okay. Let's do a little clean off on this fork. Alrighty. All right. Let's puree some things, shall we? We shall. Okay. This will be my little trash bag while I'm up here. Cool. I like to have my little trash bag nearby. All right, so let's put the lid on this. Shapeshifter Siren says, that's good. It sounds safe. Siren says, it is. I think the craziest thing that happened was when one of the residents accidentally set off a firework in his room on the 4th of July last year. What? And Shapeshifter says, no strawberry feelings were hurt while making this live stream. Exactly. Shapeshifter says, Siren, was it accidental or intentional? She said, oh, it was accidental. And Sherrick says, I usually give veg cuttings from the kitchen to the chickens. Then they give me the compost. I mean, you could always put it through the system that way too, incorporate the third party. Shapeshifter says that strawberry is probably confused whether it feels relief because it isn't in a blender or it feels hurt because Tara said it isn't good enough. I know, it's like, hey, like, don't worry, you'll come to life again as compost. All right, let's split. Oh, yeah. Alrighty then. Shapeshifter says, reminds me of that spoof where the serial killer ignores the girl and picks her friends and she really gets offended. I think I've seen that one. It's like, hey, am I not good enough to murder? Like, what the heck? Okay, let me do just one more. Siren says, I admit there have been at least 2 physical fights in the 2 years I've been here, but it's best if I don't talk about them. All right. I mean, 2 fights, 2 years, that's not bad. Okie dokie. Let's just unplug this so I don't accidentally press a button and then we get a crime scene in the kitchen. And then all of Shapeshifter's worst fears come true. All right. I would like to put a little bit of strawberry leaf in my what's going to be a milk tea, actually. I'm just going to use a little bit of this puree because the rest has to be for our meringue. But strawberry leaf, hey, really good for if you got the runs and you want to derun yourself. Strawberry leaf is really good for that. The strawberry fruit is actually really good. Works as a mild laxative if you need to have the runs. And strawberry is really good for ladies if you're going through your moon cycle and you want to alleviate some of the pain and perhaps make yourself a little more regular. I think we'll do a little bit more leaf. Strawberry is great for all those things. Also, did you know strawberry is like strawberry fruit, but also you can incorporate the leaves as well. If you were to bruise up the fruit and bruise up the leaves, put it in a little bit of water, kind of like, mash it up a little bit and drink it. Great to help alleviate flu symptoms. So the more you know. Okay, put this back in my glass here. So I put, I don't know, like a teaspoon-ish of strawberry leaf. Now I'm going to put some vanilla bean. You know what? Maybe I'll use my spoon. That's probably safer. So I don't get all cracked out on vanilla. And hey, vanilla was our shining star last week. All right. I'll pour just a teeny bit of this puree in here. Ooh. Okay. All right, now let's add some milk, and then I'm going to add some maple syrup. So I don't know, that was like a heaping tablespoon of puree went in there. Now I'm going to grab my raw milk. Ooh, there's a good amount of cream forming in this milk. That's awesome. All right. Now I'm experimenting with this drink. I don't know. I'm hoping for the best. Okay. Cool beans. Let me do a quick rinse out of this milk jug. I will attend to that later. Okay, I also want to put a little bit of maple syrup in there for sweetness. I was thinking about honey, but we'll see what maple syrup's got to say about it. Okay. Now let me put some of these away so that I have room to work. Okay. Do. Ooh. Got a little cray-cray here. All right, so I'm gonna let the strawberry leaf just kind of infuse for a little bit, and then I'm gonna use my little hand whisker mixer thingy and blend this all up. So that should be pretty good. So I'm just gonna set that off to the side for now. Okay, let me just rinse that off. Alrighty then. Okay, homies. Next on the agenda, ooh, and how's that pie crust coming? We got 4 minutes on it. Excellent. Shapeshifter says, Siren, that's not bad. I've had more in regular life. She's like, that was actually a series on Fox Crime Scene Kitchen. It's on Tubi. Shapeshifter says, Siren, it wasn't though. I think it was College Humor or something. And she said, no, Joel McHale was the host. Bakers had to guess what dessert was made based on the ingredients left behind and try to recreate it. Dude, I loved watching Joel McHale on Talk Soup. Shapeshifter says, Siren. Oh, okay. Haven't seen that one then. It's so satisfying to see those jars lined up like that. Very relaxing for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. Like all these they were jugs of milk at one point so that I could make cheese. But yeah, I don't know what it is about everything in like order and clean. I'm like, it is quite satisfying actually. All right, so we are going to take this puree and I am going to take it over to the pan. Actually, I'll take you guys. I'll take you guys to the pan. I think you can be right here. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so I have a little sieve here because I want to catch any chunks that there might be. And I'm going to pour that puree right into there. And here we go. Pouring it in like a boss. I'm just letting that slowly drain into there. That's cool. All right, that means we got a minute left on the oven. I can pull that pie shell out. Okay, let me give a quick rinse to this blender thingy, but I'll clean it later when we have some time. Okay, so that's going to slowly just drain through my little sievie here. Woo! Okay, in the meantime, we're back over here. Okay, I'm going to move this blender out of the way because we no longer need it. And I'm going to pull this crust out. Nice. Very nice. Okay. I'm going to let my crust be all crusty. And it's just sitting on the non-heated up stove right now. And it's just going to cool down. So that's just what we're going to do. All right. Okie dokie. Shapeshifters is true. Sherry Bug says, is there going to be a cheese making video? I would like to do that actually, because I have 2 cheddars that I've made, but like my goal is to like make 1 wheel a month. So that way because it takes a while for these things to age. So as they come of age, there will always be like one right behind it. So I'm thinking of making pepper jack next month. So I could either, you know what? I think it would be best as a video other than a live stream because it's a process for, like a long waiting process, like separating the curds in the whey and then putting it into the cheese press. And that's like a couple of day process. And so, yeah, but I think that I would like to make a video, like a standalone video on that. And pepper jack is next because Riley really likes pepper jack. I really like pepper jack. So pepper jack it is. Simon says, Tara, do you have a Tubi? It's free. I can send you the link if you want. I don't know. I know that Riley has a bunch of stuff on his server. We can get a lot of like different shows and put it on the server, like things that are on, I guess. What's the name of the show? And then Riley can probably just get it and we can put it on the server and watch it. But yeah, let me know. Shapeshifter says, I think the main reason I don't like to cook is how much cutting, chopping, and clearing I have to do afterwards for a meal I eat in like 10 minutes. You know, I was thinking about that. I was like, dude, like, I forgot what it was I was making. I was like, this took me like 45 minutes and I had it finished by like 15, but it was so good. I was like, best 15 minutes ever. 15 minutes in heaven. um, Sherrybug says, so I was just looking at vanilla beans online. Tahitian vanilla is $21 a bean. That's crazy. I get my vanilla beans, they're Moroccan vanilla beans, and I want to make a video about making your own like infinity vanilla extract because it's actually pretty simple. It's kind of like when you make a tincture, it's perpetual tincture. So you have like a big jar and it's just filled with like your vanilla juice. So you put some of that juice in a smaller jar, and that's like the jar that you use for, you know, baking. You put all your extract stuff in there. Pretty easy. I think I'm gonna show people how to do that. Huh? Oh, okay. Riley was able to get it. Crime Scene Kitchen. Sherrybug says a cheese video would be awesome. Shapeshifter says, Sherrybug, you can always sell the car. Lilith says, I love, can we jump on call after live looking at a newsletter alterations needed? Sure. And I'm not quite finished with the newsletter because I have to wait for a video to get published on Monday before I can actually like put the link in the newsletter. But yeah, we can do that. Sherrybug's like, for real. And okay, so Siren, yes, Riley was able to find a Crime Scene Kitchen, which had 2 seasons. And she's like, huh? Oh, he said he found 3 seasons. Okay. And Sherrybug says, yes, vanilla. Lilith's like, that explains a lot. Yeah, it's not quite done. I mean, I did like most of the newsletter, and then there's like a couple of links where one link can't post yet because the video is private and it's not public yet. So I realized that's a thing. It's just, that is a thing. All right. Okay, so now we are going to get a little bowl here. We're going to start getting ready for that stuff in the saucepan. Okay, so come down here with me, my friends. All right, I have my kitchen scale here, and let's take a look at the things I'm going to need. I'm going to need some of that cornstarch for sure. Also lemon, sugar, and some water. Okay. All right, cool beans. So first things first, let's mix. Okay, how much cornstarch am I gonna want? 5 tablespoons. All right, so let's get out our tablespoonies. Okay, I'm gonna get 5 tablespoons cornstarch. If I run out of cornstarch, I have more cornstarch. It is no problem. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? Getting the laptop? What? Oh yeah, you can see it in the video. Siren said Curtis Stone and Yolanda Gamp are the judges. For I am, but I don't have the screen turned on. Hold on, I have to press play on my own video. Hold on. I gotta refresh. I always keep the video frozen so I don't look at it. Okay, let's press play. Oh, that's what it looks like. Crime scene kitchen. Okay, did I put in 4 tablespoons or 5? I've gotten distracted. Let's measure what's already in here. Does Riley remember? 1, 2, 3. That looks like 4. Okay. Okay. All right, just rinsing off my little tablespoon there. So that was 5 tablespoons, I'm pretty sure. But I mean, all of the cornstarch is for is to help thicken up the sauce, the filling, basically. Okay, so let me put this away. Okay, just cleaning up my little messy mess. So weird. 850X wondering what we're making, and we are making strawberry mint meringue pie. All right. Next, we're going to put in 3.5 ounces of sugar. So that's where this kitchen scale comes in handy. Let's get it to ounces. There we go. And we tare. So we get it back to 0. All right. I don't have a whole lot of sugar left in here. So I have a giant bag of sugar at my feet. Okay, it's 2 ounces. That's 2.5 ounces. I mean, that's cool. It almost made it. All right, let me get the sugar that's at my feet. Let's bring it to 3.5. 3.4. 3.5. All right. Cool beans. All right, so 3.5. Let me just turn this off. Your services are no longer required, sir. Shapeshifter says pies. 850 says yummy. Save me a slice. Hey man, if you guys are in the neighborhood, come on by for some pie. But I don't know if we'd share. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how delicious it is. Okay, Riley says he's not sharing. Just FYI. All right. I believe I need 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So let me get my cutting board again. And we'll cut this here lemon in half. Voila. And then I'm going to take my handy dandy 99-cent store device from like 10 years ago. It's still going strong. I dig it. And it can hold 2 tablespoons. So as this gets full, we'll know that we have 2 tablespoons. I mean, you could always buy some lemon juice in the store, but there's something to fresh squeezed. The flavor, I think, is different. it's 2 tablespoons. Okay, so this rind is not going in the compost. So I'm just going to set it over here in my little trash bag, but it's not going in the trash. That's for my vinegar. I said, didn't say lemon? Okay, I meant lemon. So the lemon is going, I mean, especially it depends if you're in Mexico, we call everything a lime. Lemons are limes and limes are limes. Okay, I'm just putting my other half of the lemon in the fridge for the later times. Okay, let's try to take this top off without making a huge messy mess. Oh, 2 tablespoons, just like that. Awesome. All right. So I'm giving that a bit of a rinse. Again, I will come back to these dishes at the later times. All right. I'm just going to rinse that off again. A little lemon juice never hurt nobody. Okay. So that, and then we'll do a tablespoon of water. So I'll be right back. Let me just get that tablespoon of water going. Perfect. All right. And then we are going to whisk this into a paste. Let me just clear some more stuff from our work area. And just checking on my strawberry goodness. That puree is delicious. Okay, let's give this a mixed up. So you want it nice and thick and pasty. Thick and pasty. Like toothpaste, but more delicious. So this isn't going to taste like much right now, but we're going to add it to that strawberry puree. And that's what's going to thicken it up and kind of make that, you know, the consistency of like lemon meringue pie is what we're going for. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside, and it's best to get our eggs lined up and ready to go. So that's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to keep a measuring glass near the pan, because what could happen with egg yolks, if you just pour cold egg yolks into a really hot puree and mix it up, you're going to get scrambled eggs, and that's going to taste kind of nasty in your meringue pie. So we're going to put a bit of the puree mixture in here, and then we're going to add it slowly to the egg yolks as you like whisk the egg yolks to basically acclimate them, you know, slowly. Then you take that mixture and you put it back into the saucepan and mix it up, and that's how you keep your eggs from becoming scrambled eggs when you're mixing cold and warm, basically. So there's that. So let me put this over by the saucepan. All right, do a little wipe right here. Ooh, we're kind of sugary. Got crazy with the sugar. All right, so anyway, huevos. That is next. Eggs. Okay, so we need 5 egg yolks and 2 ounces of butter. Well, we're gonna have to weigh that butter. So I lied about the food scale. We're gonna need it, but in a moment. Okay, so eggs. Let's do it. All right, I have a few different bowls because for one of the things we're going to need 3 egg whites. So I have 5 eggs, which means I'm going to have 5 egg whites. So I'm going to put 3 egg whites in one, and the other couple of egg whites in another, and then this will have the egg yolks. So just if you're wondering why all the bowls, that is why. Okay, now let's get our eggs. 850X says, what was the last dessert that you baked that you were proud of? Yeah, let's see. I don't know. I kind of like a lot of the things I make. Well, I just made a summer pudding, although it wasn't a baked thing. It was without baking. What do you think? Happy morsels. Okay. Well, you don't need to bake those. Ice cream cake. Oh yeah, Riley likes his ice cream cake. Yeah, actually, I will have to say the ice cream cakes come out really good. The cheesecake was pretty good. Cheesecake. I really like the ice cream cake. It was. That was good. Okay, ice cream cake. And the last one was around Riley's, or it was for Riley's birthday, so it was on July. Okay, I have a little bag where I'm saving my eggshells because I'm going to turn those into powdered dust for my garden and for myself. Okay. All right, and then I'll just put that little guy in there. Here's where the clean hands come in handy. Okay, that's 2. Okay, that's 3. All right, now I can move this because this is going to be, these 3 egg yolks are the ones that are going to be used for the meringue. So I'm not going to need the other 2 yolks, although I'll probably find something for them, just not at the moment. Okay, that's egg number 4. And una más. Okay. And that is number 5. Excellent. Okay. Okay, that's in the sink for the later cleaning times. Okay, so as you can see, I have quite a few eggs that I got to blend up and bake and turn into calcium carbonate, but that'll be later. All right, so we don't need those 2 yolks for now, but we do need these 3 yolks, and that's going to be for the meringue. Okay, so we got our eggs there. Let's put these eggs back in the fridge. And all right, I'm going to take this stuff over to the stove. And I'm going to bring you guys over to the stove. Let's see. Siren says, I really hope you and Riley enjoy the show. It's really fun. Well, we're definitely going to watch it now because it's on the server. Shapeshifter says, I have one of those cutting boards. I'm going to use it one day. Costalina was like, yum, thick and pasty. And Siren's like, Costalini. He says, wow, y'all were expecting me? I'm honored. We should play some music. Costalini has entered the building. Siren says, I was just saying to Tara where you were. And Shapeshifter says, you're also going to get a medal if you stick around. He's like, I love a good participation trophy. Yeah, participation trophies all around. Shapeshifter says, no participation trophy. Oh, a real one. Siren says, man, after my own heart, ice cream cake and cheesecake. Yum. Costalini's like, I'm glad you brought up your heart, Siren. I was just about to ask about opening the heart chakra. She's like, I'm officially jealous of you. Well, hey, one day when I like have a retreat or something, you guys come up for like a White Mountain retreat. Maybe you guys will get ice cream cake, maybe some cheesecake. I don't know, maybe some heavenly morsels, which is something that Riley's grandma had created. It's a very special thing. They're really good, actually. Very simple and really, really good. Shapeshifter says, is it weird that I never had any of these foods? Well, you know, different foods for different countries. It's all right. Shapeshifter says, Costalini, it's great, but also be careful about opening chakras, though. He says, I think I effed it up the other day because I tried and the next day it felt like a metal pipe stuck in my chest. Well, that's no bueno. Shapeshifter says, exactly. Different chakras have different effects based on how you approach them. Costalini is like, nothing 6 margaritas couldn't fix. Holy cow, you're trying to tranquilize a horse over there? Okay, so the egg yolks and butter. Actually, let me get a knife because we're going to cut some of this butter at some point. I'll probably need a paper towel too, but that is also for the later times. Okay. This is no longer hot, so I can move this here, which means I can move you guys over here. Okay. I think you're going to have a better cooking view. Whoa. Right there. Yeah. Then you guys can kind of see what is happening. All right, so that's going to be that for that. Okay. Let me just make sure, is this all the puree? Let me get a spatula. I think some of this can go in here. I think it caught most of the strawberry seeds. Mmm. Yummy, yummy. Okay, just giving my little sieve a little rinsey. I'll be thorough later. All right. So now I'm going to put this on medium-high heat, which is about 6 for me, on our electric stove. One day we'll have a gas stove. All right. So just going to give that a little mix. I'm gonna get it warm first before I add our thickening paste. And then once it's nice and thick, then we'll add the eggs, and then we'll add the butter, and you know, it'll be all good in the hood. Siren says, I'm getting hungry now, and dinner is still an hour away. Oh no. See, that's the downfall of watching a cooking live chat. Okay, excuse me. I'm going to, while that warms up, just wipe down the area that we were just in. With my little homemade cleaner, which is just really water and Castile soap and essential oils. Okay. And then my stand mixer, that's going to be for our meringue when we get to it. All right. Coolie beans. Ooh, hold on. I'll show you guys something in just a moment. It's my tea. Okay. I'll be over there in just a second, you guys. Cool. All right, just rinsing out my little strainer. I think you guys are going to dig this. Okay, let's make sure this bottom is wiped off. Okay. All right, so we have our tea. I have my little zhuzher, my mixer. I'm going to mix. We infused a little bit of that strawberry leaf, vanilla. There's maple syrup in here. Cool. It's turning pink. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to rinse off my mixture. And doot. The tea, strawberry tea. Ha, 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 ha. Let's have a taste. Ooh. Ooh. That's strawberry delicious. Okay. Turn that down to medium heat. Okay. Okay, go back to medium high. Let me just temperature check. It could be warmer. Um, Sherry Bug says, I made chocolate peanut butter oatmeal and no bake cookies last night. Tried something different and used crunchy peanut butter. Added a bit of maple syrup and added raisins. Turned out pretty good. Oh, that sounds so good. Siren agrees. Shapeshifter also agreeing that sounds delicious. Siren says, you guys are going to make me starve before dinner. Sherrybug says, I don't know why. I never tried the changes before, but I like them. You know, that's what I like. What I like about recipes. Like, first you try it, okay, maybe the way the person, whoever created that recipe, intended, but then, you know, you branch out, you can make some wonderful concoctions. Like, I'm sure there was somebody who was like, hey, if lemon meringue pie is cool, why couldn't we make it out of a different fruit? Oh, okay, I see that it's getting kind of frothy, which is awesome. Temperature check. Getting warm. Have some more of this tea. It's so good. It's like a milk tea. Ooh, what if you put like tapioca balls in it? Like boba. Mmm. Anybody here have boba? Because I love boba. Like tapioca pearls and like taro root. Like taro root boba is probably like one of my top favorite drinks. I've always wanted to make it myself though. And I know that I've seen in some of like the markets like 99 Ranch and whatever, they sell tapioca pearls. So Sharebug says yummy and never tried to prepare it before though. Cool. Okay, we got bubblers. We got bubblage. Do it. Get bubbly. It is getting warm. Okay. So this is where we get our thickener. Okay, making sure that it's nice and thick. You know what? I might need my spatula for this to get it all out of the bowl. Okay, just getting as much of that thickener out of the bowl as possible and into here. Okay, now I'm going to take my little dealy bob here. I'm just going to mix it up. Ooh, I can tell it's already getting thick. Let's turn it down to medium heat. Put that in there. So I'm going to start outwards and work my way inwards. Start outwards, get everything that's on the side, work my way inwards. Out, in. I feel some of it collecting on the bottom, so I need to get that back into the game. So you can see it's like getting super thick, which is cool. Okay, I'm going to turn this off now because it is getting crazy thick. I mean, look at the thickness. That's cool. Okay, let me set this off to the side. So the heat is off right now, even though it's still bubbling. Okay, so I'm going to pour some of this, and let me lift this up so you guys can see. I'm going to pour some of this, not all of this, into this measuring cup. Okay. Oops. Got some drippies. No drippy. Okay. Now we have these eggs. Let me move the butter out of the way. What I'm going to do is, first of all, put that back in there. Go back and go get my whisk, because we're going to whisk up these eggs. And as we do, we're going to pour, and we have to keep whisking vigorously, a little bit of this puree into it. And we're doing our best not to get scrambled eggs. So let's pour a little bit more of our stuff in here. Mm-hmm. So the goal is not to turn these eggs into scrambled eggs. Our goal is to get them to mix appropriately. Okay, let's put in some more of our puree. Your arm is going to get a workout for right now. Still mixing. So It's time consuming. No worries though. Oops. Okay. Oh, you see how it's turning? The eggs are looking pretty good. And they're starting to turn pink. Okay. I think we're good now. Okay, let me get my spatula. Now we have this like slightly pink mixture. Okay, let me get my spatula. Man, this mat. Okay. Cool. That, my friends, is how you keep eggs from turning into scrambled eggs. All right, let me rinse this out. Okay, I got another little bowl to rinse out. Got quite the dishes here. Let me see. A Sherrybug says, I've made homemade tapioca pudding though. Siren said, true, even though dinner tonight is just cheese sandwiches. Coastline says, taro root boba is the only one I ever buy. I love it. I guess we're both disgusting creatures. Yes, more taro root for me. um, they're saying it's like strawberry pie yoga. Seriously. Okay. And now come back to this guy. Let's put this off to the side. And put this off to the side too for now. We're going to put this into our other mixture. So now that we have like a pre-mixed mixture, we're going to put that back into our puree, our eggy mixture. Okay. Cool. Let's give that a quick rinse. I'm not having hot water at the moment. That sucks. Perhaps we are out of hot water for the day. Okay. I'm coming back with my whisk. Ooh. It's a lovely color. A lovely pink. Okay, let me also get my spatula. Make sure we get all bits. And the heat is off right now, just so everybody knows. Okay, let me do a couple of folds with the spatula. And we also have to put that butter in here too. So I'm just making sure that everything on the sides and the bottom are getting fully integrated. It's a lovely like pink color now. That's pretty awesome. Okay, let's weigh out that butter. We need 2 ounces of it. Okay, we have our knife here. Nope. Oh, that's 1, almost 1.5, 1.7, 2 ounces on the nose. Heck yeah. All right, let's turn this off then. Okay, I'm gonna put this butter back in the fridge. Okay, let's just plop that in like so. All right. This is gonna give it a nice creamy texture. Right now it's pretty thick, but we want to not make it too thick because it'll thicken up when it sets out, you know, after this whole business is done. Okay. Mm. Yum, yummy. Makes me want more drink. And the mixture is still warm enough that it's melting the butter, which is fabulous. And then we're going to pour this into our shell, our pie shell. And then the last step, well, second to last step, will be to make the meringue. And then we're going to put it back in the oven for 10 minutes. And then we'll have our pie. How about that, kids? Ooh, look how smooth that is. That looks so good. Let me do a taste test. Oh, that's good. Now, your taste buds may vary. You might want to add more sugar if you would like. I think this is sweet enough, but some people like to go extra sweet. All right. That's looking pretty good. All right, then I got to move you guys over to Pie Shell Town. We're in Pie Shell Town. There we go. All right, then. Let's pour it in. Oh, that's a lot of. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Can it fit? Can it fit? We can make it fit. We overfloweth with strawberry, and that's fine. Is there anybody named Riley who would like this spatula? Or maybe the pan? Here. That looks good. Yeah, it's very strawberry. Well, don't eat the whole thing then. Okay, now we got to make the meringue while this cools down. And it has to cool down because if you put floofy meringue on top of something really hot, it's just going to melt. So we don't want that. That's like the opposite. What do you think about it? Okay. Okay. Okay, I got to bring you guys over to my stand mixer so we can make some meringue. Whoop. Just move some things out the way here. All right, stand mixer. Now we are here. You just look back here. Siren says, now we just need the mint. Yes, we are going to need to go collect that mint in a moment. So let's see. We'll do our sugar, egg whites, and cream of tartar. Let's bring that over. Okay, and I want do like a 1/4 teaspoon-ish cream of tartar. All right, how much sugar am I going to want to need for this meringue? 6 ounces of sugar. So I'm guessing Riley liked the mixture. Okay, and then we'll need 3 tablespoons of mint. So man, I don't know what has happened to our hot water. All right, you guys got to come with me. I got to go get 3 tablespoons of mint, and I'm going with peppermint. Are you coming with me? Okay, here we go. We're in the apothecary. Okay, we're headed out. Let's get some peppermint. Looks like a good one. We're going to need 3 tablespoons worth, so I'm going to grab a few of these sprigs here. Make it extra minty. Ooh, that's some good stuff. Let's get one more. Okay, I think that's a good amount of mint. Maybe we'll just grab one more. Okay, okay, now that's a good amount of mint. Okay, we have our mint. Okay, yay, fresh minties. Let's bring this down. Oh, look, it's our Jeep. Okay, back inside. Okay. Yay. I'm going to need to chop up this mint too, so maybe I'll get that cutting board once again. Oh, let's do a little choppy. So that way it's just ready to fold in when it is time. So we'll make the peaks, the meringue peaks first, and then we'll just like gently fold in the peppermint. So I'm just going to pull these leaves, get my little compost canister ready. It smells so good. Shapeshifter says, I missed that mixture. Hadn't seen it in a while. I thought the stream stopped, probably just on my end. No, it sometimes when I go to certain parts of the property, the Wi-Fi cuts out. Okay. So a lot of amazing mint in here. I just want to make sure there's no sticks. No sticks. And this is the mint that I didn't plant. I mean, I planted mint. Peppermint, but like I have peppermint and catnip. But this was it just decided to grow on its own accord just outside the garage. And this is good that I'm doing this because this gives more time for the filling to cool down in the pie pan or pie crust. It's like I can already taste it. It's going to be so freaking awesome. Sometimes the things I make don't look the prettiest, but they freaking taste good. Okay, just a few more sprigs here. Cherrybug says, so this is like a strawberry mojito pie. Yes, yes, this is what we're making. We're making strawberry mojito meringue, just so everybody knows. All right, last sprig. All right, I got these. Time for a little choppy choppy. Okay, then I'm going to do some tearing apart as well. And some more choppy choppy. I just want to get these into really small pieces because although they're going to add a delicious flavor, I don't think anybody wants to bite into a whole leaf of peppermint. That might be a bit much. Okay, that looks good-ish. Man, I wish I had one of those ninja grinders that I had back in the day. It was good for like when you don't want to deal with onions and you just want to mince some onions or you just want to like mince some herbs. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Good enough. All right, let's bring you guys back to here to the kitchen and the mixer. And I'm going to put my little whisk on. Okay, so this is the bowl that had the 3 egg yolks. And we're going to add a little bit of cream of tartar. I'm going to use about a 1/4 teaspoon, like so. Oops. Just rinse that off. Okay. And then I'm not going to add my sugar yet. I have to kind of lift it up because it doesn't quite reach the bottom all the way. I mean, it does, but I don't know. It's just a weird design. And we're going to be here a while because it takes a little while to turn into soft peaks. but it is getting frothy, which is cool. And for this, you just have to have patience because it could take like 10 minutes for this to turn into anything. Okay, you can see it's, well, I don't know if you guys could see, but it is starting to get thicker in there. It's still just kind of foamy, but it's like the foamy is expanding. It's foamy, my friend. I like my strawberry milk. Just turning it up a notch. It's looking good, you guys. It just takes forever. Ooh, it's starting to stiffen up a little bit. Cool. But like I said, it takes a while because you basically have to froth these egg whites until they stiffen up. Okay, I turned it up a little bit. It's like low high right now or something. What's it on? It's on an 8. I remember that this was like where I made a mistake previously and a couple of other like lemon meringue pies that I made because I thought that it was supposed to make stiff peaks like immediately, and I thought something was wrong. I started adding stuff, and it was a disaster. So, patience, we must learn, my young Jedi. It is starting to get glossy, which is a good sign. It's kind of like making butter. Remember when we were making butter and like we're standing at this mixer for like half an hour? That's kind of what it's like trying to make meringue. You see, bring you guys in a little further. That's what it looks like so far. It's not done yet though. Let's go egg whites. Let's go. Let's go egg whites. Let's go. It is a mixy process. Costalini says, I swear I've seen that mixer advertised everywhere. Very popular. Sherry Bugs said, KitchenAids are great mixers. You can buy attachments to do all sorts of things. He was asking if Sherry Bug has one. She said, I do. A smaller version, that the one I believe, but still good. And Shapeshifter says, I'm going to get one of those, not to cook anything, just to watch it go around and around. Looks like a lot of fun. It is. It's like kind of cathartic. What happens if we slow it down? Oh my goodness. Meringue takes forever. Like anybody who does this with a hand mixer, oh my goodness. The agony. Okay. It's getting even more thick now, which is another good sign. We're on the right track. Anywho, in the meantime, let me get a bowl and start measuring out that 6 ounces of sugar. Okay, 6 ounces. Let's get our sugar. Right. 6 ounces. Okay, 6 ounces. Ooh, just got sugar everywhere. That's okay. Oh, this bag's got a hole in it. No wonder it leaks sugar. Okay, well, gonna clean up my sugary mess later. Okay, when we add this sugar, we can only do it like a tablespoon at a time um, to keep from killing the meringue. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Okay. Okay, so we have pretty soft peaks, but I don't know. I think we can get more. So we do have our sugar here. A tablespoon here. Sherrybug says, I guess I always just have mine going faster. Shapeshifter says, okay, I have to sleep, guys. If I don't wake up early tomorrow, I'm done. Catch you later. All right, catch you later. Have a great week. I'm just always afraid of over mixing, so I try not to set it to, like, not to its maximum. Oh, now it's starting to look like whipped cream, which is cool. I should probably get the oven heated up again. So 400. Okay. Here we go. Seems like an awful lot of sugar for this thing. Where did my spatula go? I just want to wipe down the sides a little bit, make sure all the sugar is getting in there. Hmm. I feel like I'm feeding a baby right now. Note to self, don't feed baby sugar. The reason we're doing a tablespoon at a time is so we don't fill the meringue. Okay, taste test. And just wipe down the sides a little bit. Um, hmm, Pretty good. I don't think I'll add any more sugar. Okay. We'll just let that get mixy mixy. Like you want to do a little test with meringue. and like rub it between your fingers and see if it still feels grainy with the sugar. And when it doesn't feel grainy anymore, that means it's okay. It's ready to go. Okay. Peak test. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I think it's ready to go. Check out the peak test. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna unplug that. And you guys are gonna have to come with me. Mm, that's like tastes like marshmallows. Mm, mm, mm. I forgot we got mixing our peppermint, but we want to fold that in. We didn't really want to mix that in. That is awesome. Okay, so now let's fold this in. Give that a rinsey. I'm just doing as gentle as I can fold in of all this peppermint. Okay, let's take it over here. Don't worry, you guys are coming with me. Who's coming with me, man? Okay, here we go. And I have my little thingy for making peaks on the pie. Let's actually turn some lights on under here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so here's our pie. And the reason you want to create like whippy peaks on a meringue is so that when it's in the oven, the whole thing just doesn't turn brown. You know, you want like some of the peaks to turn brown and get that like classic meringue look, you know? Okay, well, let's get it out of the bowl here. I am not so good with my left hand. I'm like, burp, 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 burp. Okay, well, let's floof this around. We want to seal the edges though. Okay, let's get some of this off. Boop. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They're so good. Super good. Okay, now we take our handy dandy little tool here, and I'm just going to make sure that the edges are sealed. Need some sealing over here. All right, there you guys go. Mm-hmm. Actually, let's bring some more over here. Looks a little lopsided. Mm. Yeah. That's good stuff, yo. I really wish I could share this with you guys. Mm. Okay, I need to wash off my hand. Okay, the oven is almost ready. So like I said, we'll just have it in here for 10 minutes. Just enough to like brown the tips. Just the tip. All right. So while we're waiting for the last of the oven and whatnot, I thought I'd read a little bit about strawberry because I figured strawberry could be our herb for this week. Oh, look at that. It's already time. In you go. All right, setting a timer for 10 minutes. Okay, so according to Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, he says strawberries were served as a love food. Well, I could see that. I mean, think about it. We still think about that today. Like Valentine's Day, there's chocolate covered strawberries. And the leaves were carried for good luck. It says pregnant women used to carry a small packet of strawberry leaves in order to help ease their pregnancy pains. And that makes sense because we do know that it's actually the strawberry leaf is very useful in alleviating menstrual pains, but also pregnancy pains, which is kind of cool. And there's actually a lot more nutrients in the leaf than there is in the fruit. So let me read about wild strawberry here. In case you've never seen strawberries in the wild, it's so cool. When I'm in the forest, I'm like, oh, that's a little strawberry plant on the ground. I love wild strawberries. So wild strawberries are native to Europe and temperate regions of Asia. The leaves and fruit are gathered in early summer, but of course we know that strawberries grow in a lot of different places now. The leaves contain flavonoids, tannins, and volatile oil. The fruit contains fruit acids and a volatile oil with methyl salicylate and borneol. Wild strawberry appears to have been little used medicinally until the Middle Ages. Writing in 1652, Nicholas Culpeper listed its benefits. The berries are excellent, good to cool the liver, the blood, and the spleen, or a hot choleric stomach. The leaves and roots thereof are good to fasten loose teeth and to heal spongy foul gums. Well, I guess that's good that we're making it a pie. It's going to be good for our gums and teeth and whatnot. Wild strawberry leaves are mildly astringent and diuretic. The plant is little used medicinally today, but it can be taken to treat diarrhea and dysentery. I mentioned that before, that if you are a little constipated, you need a little laxative relaxation. Muddling some of the fruit will be helpful. The leaves, however, have kind of the opposite effect. So if you have diarrhea, you would drink a tea of the leaves in order to stiffen up your stool. The leaves were used as a gargle for sore throats and a lotion for minor burns and grazes. In Europe, the fruit is considered to have cooling and diuretic properties. It has been prescribed as part of a diet in cases of tuberculosis, gout, arthritis, and rheumatism. So, cool beans. All right, let's see how our pie is doing. Okay, hold on. Let's get down here. Ooh. Oh, yeah. You know what? Maybe I'll just give it another minute because I think it's about done, you guys. I think 10 minutes. 10 minutes is like an average, but everybody's elevation is different. Everybody's oven cooks differently. Let's turn that off. Let's actually turn this off, and I'm going to turn off that. Oh, yeah. Okay. Giving it one more minute, and then I'm pulling it. I want you guys to be here for all the glory. Oh, look, say hi to yourselves. Sherry Book says, looks really good. Thank you. I hope it tastes good. Let's hope that it's grand. Okay. Here, let's do this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Check it out. Wow. That looks good. Okay, you guys, let's let it cool down. And then we're gonna, not yet. Gotta let it cool. No, let it cool. No. So we'll have it in like probably 5 minutes. Let it just cool its tits. All right. I wanted to wipe up around here a little bit first. And my strawberry milk tea, super good. Sherry Bug says, perfection. Lilith was like, that's what he said. I'm so excited. Like I said, I've made lemon meringue pie before. The first two were a disaster. The last one I made, but I haven't made strawberry mint lemon or meringue. So I can't wait to cut into it in a few minutes. Let me just let it cool itself for a moment. Okay. Come with me. Let's clean these dishes. And actually, you know what? I can take off my apron now because I think everything that could explode on us is now in the clear. All right, and then I'm going to take my frou-frou top off. There we go. So we got hands-free. I don't know what's wrong with our hot water, but it doesn't want to be hot. Okay, so while we do this, this is just giving our meringue time to cool down because, of course, I'm not going to like make it and then be like, okay, bye, see you all later. Just guess that it was good. Oops. There we go. All right. Let's see what we've got going on in this pan. I think this is the part that Shapeshifter said was his least favorite part, and that is the cleanup process. Well, in this part of the process for me, I'm like, thank you, Pan, for helping to make the filling. I hope that it's fabulous. Thanks for all your help. Okay, then give these little guys a clean. It's technically, I mean, it looks like a lot of dishes. It's just a lot of bulk. Just a lot of bulk. Oh, I think we have some semblance of heat coming out of the faucet now. I'll just let it run for a few seconds. Okay. All right. See, we're making short work of everything. This bowl has a bit of the crusty on it from the thickener that we had made. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, I'm like trying to go really fast. I'm like, I want some of that pie. Mm-hmm. DT. Little bit more soup. right. This lid didn't get very much puree on it, but what is. Okay. Coolio. Going down to the nitty gritty here. So, I mean, it was kind of time consuming, this pie, but I wouldn't say it's difficult. I mean, there's a couple of things you have to do, like make sure your eggs don't become scrambled eggs when you're making the filling, but it's just being fully present. Maybe that's why I like baking and cooking. It forces me to be present because my brain is all over the place. I have so many thoughts. Like I'm so all over, you know. But I think like being in the forest, like when I'm out on a walk, helps me to slow down and be present. Baking and cooking helps me to slow down and be present. Miss Mary Jane helps me to slow down and be present, and just like helps my thought process just like chill out. Because otherwise, like my brain is moving a million miles a second, and I have all these projects and all these things I want to do. But sometimes we just have to enjoy being in the present. And so actually, yeah, that's what baking and cooking does for me. It's my meditation. So technically I'm meditating with you guys right now. I hope you like it. Okay, time to clean off this meringue. I have to be so careful with this bowl because do you know how expensive this bowl is to replace? I'm like, ugh. Okay, I'm gonna clean that like milk jug later because it's a little bit more intensive. Okay. Woohoo, we're almost done, you guys. And then it's pie time. High time for pie time. Okay. Yay. All right, I'm going to leave this here or something. How about here? Yeah, that's way better. Oh yeah, my milk tea, that was super good. Highly recommend that as well for you guys. Just some strawberry puree, some maple syrup, and vanilla and strawberry leaves. Okay, let's wipe this down and get to our pie, shall we? I think we shall. I think we've waited long enough. Okay, so give me a second, just wipe everything down, y'all. You guys can meditate on the pie. Costalia says, you know what's crazy? My neck, tooth, and back don't really hurt at all. Today, yesterday, maybe 10% of the pain I've been complaining about after the eclipse. Whoa. Somebody got his releasing on. Guess all that stuff you've been working on finally was like, all right, he's had enough. Adios. Sorry, I'm just wiping underneath you guys. Don't mind me. Pardon my mess. Okay, wow, I did get some sugar on this counter. That's okay. The sugar wipes off. Okay, I need one more thing. Okay, almost done, you guys. Then we can have a nice little pie sit down. Okay, I'm just giving Miss KitchenAid a little wipe down as well. It's better to get things while they're like fresh. Okay. There you go, Miss KitchenAid. Good as new. I imagine people are popping in. They're like, ooh, pie, who's the disembodied voice? Okay. We're ready for pie. Okay, let's get a couple of plates because I'm sure Riley would like some. All right. Let's get a little knife. Where is that one knife? There we go. It always gets put away somewhere odd. Okay. I'll use this to like help pick it up. I really do need to invest in like a pie server. Pie cake serving utensil dealy bob. Okay, well. Ooh, wait. I want to make it look pretty, so I have to wipe off the knife in between. I heard of this hack. Okay. Okay, now, hmm, hmm, tastes pretty freaking good, actually. Oh, it kind of fell apart. That's okay. We'll put some of that goo next to it. Hmm. Maybe Riley could share this one with me because I got kind of a big piece. Okay, just rinsing off my utensili. Okay, let's have a bite. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I got a little gloopy when I was like trying to serve it. Like I said, we got to invest in a pie. Sure. Mm. Coastal has tried to open the heart chakra, got impaled, I guess, got drunk. Pain basically gone. looks delish. And it's pink, heart chakra. Mm-hmm. Riley, you want to try some? Okay. He's busy at the moment, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Mm. It's good. I highly recommend you guys try this. Give it a shot. Mm. 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 I taste the peppermint too. That's so good. It tastes very summery. So good. I highly recommend with meringue if you can. I know some people want to eat it right away, but if you can let it just like fully cool down, even throw it in the refrigerator for like overnight, and when it really starts to firm up and everything, um, it gives the flavor more time to like really connect. I don't really know how that happens, but like I've noticed that like with anything I've baked, it's always so much better once it's sat for a while and it's just had time to settle. The flavors are mixing, they're becoming one with each other, and then it's even better. So I guarantee, as good as that is right now, and I will toot my own horn, I think I did a good job. um, I know that by tomorrow, when we take that out of the refrigerator, it's going to be even better. And it's going to be a lot more firmed up. So it'll probably hold together better when I'm like trying to get it out of the pan. But yeah, so yay, we have success. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. We've done it. I'm so freaking pleased. Okay. I'm gonna let this thing just cool its titties over here. And I don't think I got this pan dirty, but It can use a little wipe off, I suppose. All right. That can just be dry. Okay, one more thing to wipe off. And then let's head out to the living room. Do a little Q&A, which is our super chat, super stickers. It's basically our donation section, since I know not everybody uses the super chat, super stickers. And I don't blame you, because YouTube. Okay, let me put this back in the apothecary. Oh, hold on. One more thing for the apothecary, my bad. Vader, where are you going, sir? Okay, so come to the living room with me. Come along, my children. So good. We did good. Okay, let's lift this up. So we'll do our Q&A section, basically our donation question section, and then we'll get our meditation on. Okay, let me go grab the lappy top. Okay. Where are you going, Vader? Well, it looks like Vlad found Costolini. Oh no. Okay. Let's plug y'all in over here. Alrighty then. Whew. We did it. We made strawberry peppermint meringue pie, and it was a success. All right, so let me know if you guys have any questions for our donation section. Does this go? I think this goes up here. Doot. And then if we do not have any questions, well, then we can do a little meditation, a little strawberry meditation. And all the songs that are about strawberries kind of come to mind. Or actually, they were metaphors for something else, like Strawberry Beret. And then I was thinking, oh, wait, this other song, no, that didn't have strawberry. That had watermelon sugar. Yes. Anyway. And I think there was one by, did the Beatles do something? Strawberry Fields or something like that. But anyway. Okay. Oh, that's why I put these over here. So my stepmom, she used to be a linguistics professor at San Diego State. And so she's really into books. I'm really into books. She's made my dad be into books. But she sent a couple of books that her and my father read. And she said they were really good. And just kind of reading the back cover of these books, I was like, oh, these are right up the alley of Riley and I. So The first one is called The Paranormal Ranger for my bibliophiles out there. It says a Navajo investigator search for the unexplained. This is by Stanley Milford Jr. And that is Mr. Stanley Milford Jr. back there. So he graduated from the United States Indian Police Academy. He worked continuously as a sworn law enforcement officer for 23 years, served as the delegated chief Navajo Ranger for over 2 years. While with the Navajo Rangers, Stan oversaw a section called the Special Projects Unit. So the back portion says, as a Native American with parents of both Navajo and Cherokee descent, Stanley Milford Jr. grew up in a world where the supernatural was both expected and taboo. Shapeshifters roamed, witchcraft was a thing to be feared, and children were taught not to whistle at night. I remember I was told that too. In his youth, Milford never went looking for the paranormal, but it always seemed to find him. When he joined the fabled Navajo Rangers, a law enforcement branch of the Navajo Nation, who are equal parts police officer, archaeologists, archaeological conservationists, and historians, the paranormal became part of his job. Alongside addressing the mundane duties of overseeing the massive 27,000 square mile reservation, Milford was assigned to utterly surreal and shocking frequent cases involving mysterious livestock mutilations, skinwalkers and Bigfoot sightings, UFOs, and malicious hauntings. In The Paranormal Ranger, Milford recounts the stories of these cases from the clinical and deductive perspective of a law enforcement officer. Milford's Native American worldview investigating trainings collide to provide an eerie account of what logic dictates should not be possible. Not possible. And then this other book called The Third Man Factor, Surviving the Impossible, is by John Geiger. Looks just like this. And it says, the third man factor tells the revealing story behind an extraordinary idea that people at the very edge of death, often adventurers or explorers, experience a benevolent presence beside them that encourages them to make one final effort to survive. If only a handful of people had ever experienced the third man, it might be dismissed as an unusual delusion. But over the years, the experience has occurred again and again to mountaineers, divers, polar explorers, prisoners of war, solo sailors, aviators, astronauts, and 9/11 survivors. All have escaped traumatic events only to tell strikingly similar stories of having experienced the close presence of a helper or guardian. In The Third Man Factor, John Geiger combines history, scientific analysis, and great adventure stories to explain this secret to survival. The third man, who, in the words of legendary Italian climber Reinhold Messner, leads you out of the impossible. So, these might be books that you might be interested or not, but I thought I would just pass on the titles to you guys because, yeah, I mean, I was like, ooh, this is right up our alley. Lilith says, so I have a question. Can you please tell me what kind of energy is lingering around my area globally? My neighbors have been yelling at each other in, excuse me, a group chat as if we're in daycare. Together with the fire that took place and just the general readiness to jump down each other's throat. In particular, any cleansing advice on that? Well, let's take a look. Okay, where's my herbal books? So I'm sure there's a reason strawberry came to us. So usually when something's happening in one area, it's happening all over, perhaps to varying degrees. You know, what could be happening just in like your city could be happening in individual homes, you know, across the world. It could be happening in individual entire like states. It could be happening in entire countries. So usually as within, so without. So since we were talking about strawberry today, and strawberry, depending on the part that you're using, like if you're using the fruit, it helps to soften things up so that you can release them. Kind of like the eclipse was helping people to see shadows because, you know, it's being shadowed. The moon is being shadowed. And then afterwards, because it is a full moon, there's a release that happens afterwards, since we just had the full moon. And then thinking about what Costolini was saying, about like his heart chakra. So he wanted to open up the heart chakra, and I believe that he did that actually. He said it felt like he was like impaled, and then some things occurred. So then he went drinking and and whatnot. But if you think about all that, that kind of ties in with your question as well, because he was focused on the heart chakra. What you're describing there, people being confrontational and yelling and getting down each other's throats, that's a heart chakra issue. That's a heart issue. I mean, think about arguments that happen just between two people. They get into an argument, they feel the heart, they feel that the other person is not seeing their point of view. They're not being heard. They're not being clear. Like they feel like usually that there's some sort of blockage being put up, and then that's why they argue, because they want to shout. They want to get their point across. Like, why aren't you listening to me? Why aren't you listening to my point? And so then if you got two people who feel like both are not being heard, well, then a screaming match occurs, and sometimes it comes down to fisticuffs, So this feels all like big heart releasing. And what happens just before a release? Usually all the things that we have been stuffing down, not wanting to look at with the heart, come to the surface. And so here we had Costolini, who was ready to address it himself. He wasn't going to wait for some explosion to happen between him and another person getting into an argument. He wanted to go in for himself. And so he's saying it felt like I got impaled, but I really feel like sometimes when that happens, we're letting a piece of ourself go. And it could be a piece of the ego going, and the ego is going to feel like it's a stab to the heart. Like, what? Why? We've been together for so long. Like, we've had this belief, this feeling, this thought, this thing for so long, this habit, routine for so long. Why would you let it go? And so since afterwards, he didn't just sit around like, dead on the couch. He decided to go drinking, which is usually associated with being social and opening up to people. And even though alcohol is seen as like spiritual attachment sometimes, more often than not, some people utilize it thinking that they quiet things or stuff things down. Like, I drink to drown out X, Y, or Z. But really what ends up happening, it's another form of trying to open the heart chakra. It doesn't remove the ego, kind of like if you were using something else, like let's say Mary Jane, for instance, where that herb is a very heart opening herb, but it helps to kind of push the ego aside so that you can work on your heart chakra stuff. Whereas alcohol doesn't really push the ego aside, but it does open up the heart. So in a way, even though Costolini was trying to open up the heart chakra, then he felt like he was getting stabbed, and hello, Mr. Hummingbird, who was at the window. He went out and performed a very ancient cultural ritual, which is drinking. And although nowadays it's more like to get drunk, sometimes people drink, but back in the day, it was for ceremonial purposes, and it usually had to deal with the heart. That when somebody needed to let go of something or open up about something, a type of alcohol was brewed depending on the culture. And so if you think about it that way, Costolini was basically connecting to like ancient cultural roots of like, hey, let's take a little bit of alcohol. Let's really like take a look at what's going on here. It was just a release, and he felt fine afterwards. So I feel like that's kind of what's going on in your area right now. Think about the eclipse, and we still feel things, for a while. And so people's shadows were brought up, and maybe that shadow was brought up in another person, didn't want to see it, don't want to look at it, so I'm gonna shout at it. And then we're not listening to each other, so we get into this shouting match. So it sounds like a big release is needed in your area, and there's nothing you personally can do about everybody else's lessons. So for you, if this is going on with the collective, there is no wall. There is no protective wall or barrier that you can put up to push out what will eventually be for you. And so, and maybe you've already been going through it, this like whole like things coming to the surface and releasing. So if you've already been through it, chances are what they're going through isn't going to affect you so much because you've already been through it. So you would have that almost like knowingness, like, oh, I was already there. Like you guys are just going through it right now. Of course, you could still have your boundaries up. Your energetic boundaries, your verbal boundaries. If people are like, making some nasty energy in the place that you're, it's okay to speak up like, hey, other people are here in this public park too, or you get up and leave, or if you see people like actually fighting, maybe go let somebody know. So there are ways of enforcing your boundaries at this time, but like to make it stop, make it so that you don't notice it, that it's, that I don't think you can do. But of course, yeah, I mean, do all the things for self-care for yourself, maybe even putting in a little prayer for those people that they do, that they are successful in their heart release, their heart chakra release, that they are successful in really being present and taking a look at those shadows and healing. So instead of more of a defensive mode, I would say go on the offensive, because oftentimes I think that some people won't be on the defense. I always want to put up this wall, this barrier, this, I'm going to burn sage and whatnot to keep them away. But that's being on the defense. So if we're on the offense, it's prayer. It's or meditation, however it is that you connect to the divine, and you're like, hey, I wish nothing but the best for these people. I'm praying for their healing. I'm praying that they see their shadows. I'm praying that they acknowledge them and that they release them, and that everybody turns out it's okay, in the end. So however you want to word it, but I feel like that would be much more powerful than basically putting a cloak around yourself, saying, "I don't see it. Leave me alone. Don't touch me." Because we are connected, whether we want to be at times or not. So the more good juju you can put in for those people, everybody that's surrounding you, because, I know that you've been going through some stuff, so you kind of understand it, you'd be sympathetic to what they're going through. Is just to, put out that energy out there, put that prayer out there that, that they get through it too. Because that's just what's happening. They're in the middle of release mode. Everybody's in the middle of release mode. And how ironic that, maybe it's TMI, but like my moon cycle showed up just after the eclipse. So I am also releasing. Let's see. Let's go back here. Lilith says to, oh yeah. Oh, and then Costalini had sent a Venmo. Thank you. And Lilith says, I'm taking up archery, Costalini. I can start my career as Cupid and shoot an arrow your way. And she said, girl, the amount of energy spent on the argument would have solved the original issue 100-fold. So I need to get them drunk. No, not drunk, but see, I'm witnessing this mess and just like speechless. I'm not getting involved, but just wondering if it was local or more global. Was wondering if I need to sprinkle salt around the block. Cloaking sounds fine, but sure, I can pray for the saving of them souls. So yeah, I feel like this is a whole planet thing, so kind of globally planetary. But yeah, putting in the good juju to kind of like, the prayer to kind of help people along. And of course they have to use their own free will to, help themselves along. But, I think it doesn't hurt. I know that there's power in that intention. But also understanding that they have to go through it the way that they are deciding to go through it. And you being a witness, well, this is a pretty awesome opportunity, because you can clearly see what could be causing these arguments. What is happening when people, like, at what point are these people shutting down? At what point do they stop listening, or do they ever listen? And so that next time you are in a similar situation, you'd be more mindful of these things. At what point do I shut down? At what point do I feel like I'm not being heard? What is causing me not to be heard? Was there something that I did on my end where I didn't put down a boundary, or did I go on the attack with the other person, and now they feel attacked, and now they're feeling defensive, and now they're not listening to me at all? At what point did we become defensive with each other? So really pay, this is, I think, for you too, to really pay attention to what got them there in the first place. And when you start to hear people say the same argument over and over again, like 100 times, I know that we've all been caught in repetition, at one point or another, when we've been in an argument and we get stuck on this like one thing that we keep saying over and over again. So that next time this happens with you, you'll be more mindful of it. Am I getting stuck in a repetition? Have I shut down? Am I on the defense? What is my ultimate goal with this whole conversation? If it's to be heard, then attacking the other person verbally because you feel attacked is probably not going to resolve that argument. So watch to see what escalates the arguments, what helps to resolve the arguments. When do you start to see people soften up a little bit? Because it kind of happens throughout arguments where sometimes people start to feel like, oh, I can soften up a little bit because I don't feel so attacked. Then, oh, wait, I'm on the attack again, and it's like this back and forth. So this is a wonderful opportunity for you to kind of like witness and see like firsthand, without you being first person, like involved in the situation, when you're just watching it, as an outsider, what started it. And if we're looking at it as nobody being at fault, then what is causing this discrepancy between the two people? What do you think that person A ultimately wants? What do you think person B ultimately wants? How do you feel that person B isn't being heard? Because everybody likes to be heard in different ways. Some people just want acknowledgement of like, okay. Some people want what they said to be repeated back to them. Some people want you to respond to what they said, and some people, it's all different. So take a look and try to figure out like, where are they not meeting each other's needs? Because everybody's got different ways of communicating. So where did the communication breakdown happen? So yeah, I think that this is really good for you. Blocking it out would be the loss of a learning experience, where here you are, you're not actually involved, but you get to really see how something's playing out. So now when it becomes your turn at some point, how do you want to play it out? And you're more mindful of like, is that other person shutting down? Okay, what could have caused them to shut down? So it's kind of nice to be in that front row seat. All right. Lilith is like, Costolini went wild and I like it. Okay, so Costolini, let's take a look. It says, I just want to know what the easiest way to fully open the heart chakra is, and how I'd know if it's open, and like what happens. Says that's the crazy part, is I don't feel hungover at all. Maybe I drank lots of water or something, but I remember handing bartender cash tips before partaking in this ritual. So for me personally, whenever I've like worked on my own stuff, my own energy work, when I'm tapping into like my confidence center and my solar plexus, or, I'm going through something and I really need to feel into my heart space, or, anything that's been pertaining to the heart I shouldn't say it's like always like this, because it's different for everybody. But me personally, I feel it in my whole body, where I feel like an all over emotion. And sometimes, for me personally, it comes out in two ways: extreme laughter, or just like, I want to cry and I don't know why I want to cry. And it's not always in the moment. I could be like meditating, like, just working on my heart, healing my heart, working on this problem or whatever. And, trying to see it more clearly. And then, maybe I feel like, okay, afterwards, and then like 2 or 3 days may pass. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I just feel like I want to watch a movie that makes me cry. because I just feel like I want to cry right now. You know? And for me, that's how I'm releasing the things that I was working on, all that, stored of energy. And sometimes I'm just like, I want to watch a comedy. I want to go heckle a friend on the phone. I want to go look at some videos of people having unfortunate events, but for some reason it makes me laugh. And, and it's just like, and so it's like extreme laughter to the point where I start crying. So both are types of release. For me, it's laughter, or I just cry, or I laugh and cry, So it may be that days later, all of a sudden you have this overwhelming emotion. Like, I don't know why I'm not really mad right now, but I just feel like I need to scream to the skies. And that's part of the heart work. That's part of the release. Or it's like, I feel like I want to get into a tickle fight with somebody right now. That's part of the release too. When you have this like overwhelming emotion to do something, and logically you can't find a logical reason why. Like, I don't know why I feel like crying right now, because nothing's making me sad. I don't know why I want to scream at the heavens right now, because nothing's making me angry. Or I'm not in a particularly like super happy mood, but I just feel like I really need to laugh, So so that's part of it. Also, when I'm working on anything heart related, I go to chocolate, and not like chocolate milk or like chocolate candy bars, but I make like a chocolate brew, like a chocolate, the Mayan Azteca, like chocolate. So I do raw cacao powder. I may add raw milk, maybe like a little bit of raw milk, because I want it to be as dark as possible. I add in a little bit of chili pepper, and sometimes I add honey and sometimes I don't, but I will add in a little bit of cornmeal. It makes it a really thick elixir, and that's kind of closer to what like OG chocolate is like. So it's cornmeal, just a little bit, just enough to thicken it up. Just FYI, it makes it extremely hot, like more hot than hot. Seriously, it's like a chemistry thing. so, so let it really like cool down a little bit before you take that first sip, because it'll be beyond boiling hot when you add cornmeal to it. So it's cornmeal. Like if I was doing, let's say, a cup of it, I would put in probably like a half a cup to maybe a cup of raw milk. I might put in 2 to 3 tablespoons of cacao powder, maybe a teaspoon of chili pepper, or I just straight put a chili inside, like if I'm going to make it in a saucepan, which I usually do. And then I put in that cornmeal, about a quarter of a cup to an eighth of a cup of cornmeal. Just mix it up, get it nice and bubbly. You can add some honey in if you want some sweetness. I personally like it nice and like chocolate bitter when I'm working on some heart stuff. And anyway, you could add some Damiana if you want to, like, put some more plant allies in there. But for me, sometimes I'll add Damiana, but most of the time it's just the cornmeal, raw cacao powder, raw milk, and chili powder. Maybe honey, maybe. And then maybe vanilla, depending on if you guys want to get fancy. But if I'm in it, I'll drink that. And it's like all of a sudden I feel so intense. I don't know how to describe it. It's like somebody's massaging my heart muscle. Like when I drink that, I feel like I'm being massaged in my heart muscle. And that's when all the feels start to come up, like, and there's no logical reason where all these feelings are coming from other than I'm doing heart work right now. And it's like, I might just start crying. I might start laughing my head off like crazy person, and just like, or I just might be like, I gotta go scream into a pillow right now. But yeah, that's, for me, it helps, like, and then I get into that kind of, while I'm drinking it, kind of meditative state, like kind of connect to the creator and being like, what's coming up for me right now? What do I need to focus on? Guide me, into the emotion I should be leaning into at the moment to help me with this release, So there's that. So you could work on that. let's see. Let me go back here. Um, so yeah, you might want to try that part out. And I do truly believe that although nowadays in modern culture, alcohol isn't quite used the way it was by our ancient ancestors, just like Mary Jane isn't used kind of the way it was used, a lot of these plant medicines, and ultimately alcohol does come from plant medicine, so they were all used in like sweat lodges and ceremonials, and gathering together or gathering with a medicine person and just like helping to release in some way. So alcohol, which is a type of drug, anything that alters your state of consciousness is considered a drug. Even coffee is a drug because it does alter your state of consciousness. So anything that does that really. So with the alcohol, even though yes, you're like, I just need to I just need to go out and just, to me, it was kind of like your soul saying, hey, we need to partake in some ancient ritual here, so we're going to take a little bit of alcohol and we are just going to open ourselves up. Because what do we do when we party and we laugh and we're connecting to other people, we're being social? That's all heart chakra, bro. So yeah, you were basically doing an ancient ritual, but in a modern context, which is why you wouldn't have had the hangover. Yes, you may have drank a lot of water to go along with it, but this was something that your soul was asking you to do and you listened. And usually we don't have horrendous side effects when we're listening to what our soul is asking us to do or what the creator is guiding us to do. So the creator is like, you got some stuff to release. I think you need to go out with some friends and we're going to help release this, because I need you for what he's got planned. So, okay. So I hope that answers your question, and let me know if you end up trying chocolatl, like Azteca chocolatl, also used by the Mayas. But yeah, it was for me when I use it in that way. I do feel like I'm high. Like I truly get high on cocoa powder. I'm like sitting there and I'm like, it's intense. It really is. Like when you put that intention and this is what I'm doing, and like this drink that I have is to help with my heart and opening up or whatever I need to release or whatever I need to heal, and I'm in connection with my creator right now, like woo. um okay, so do we have any other questions? Thank you, by the way, Lilith and Costalini, for allowing me to answer your questions or do my best, to answer those questions. But yeah, like I said, I feel like there's a lot going on right now. And, the creator has, this ultimate plan, already knows like how it's all going to play out. But we're just seeing it in like slow-mo time, because we're on this like linear time frame where the creator has kind of already seen it out. But it's like I know that there's a reason for people needing to connect to their heart space. And when that happens, you're going to see it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes people really need some gunk to release, and sometimes it's hard to do it by themselves. So they need an antagonist in their life, whether it's a person or a situation, to help release that so that they can see beyond their own little world view. When we're in contact with somebody else, we're now forced to be in another's perspective. And so I know that this is all for a reason. I mean, look at the things naturally that are happening with Mother Earth. I mean, you can say, well, it's because of like all the freaking weather modification stuff. And sure, we can put the power in the weather modification, but really who ultimately has the power? And it's the creator. So the creator would get these schmoes to do some weather modification to piss off Mama Gaia so that she connects to her heart chakra and she's like, it's flood time, it's volcano time, it's earthquake time, because I've been holding in stuff for so long and now she's ready to let go. So it's not just your neighborhood Lilith, it's not just Costalini, but it's the whole freaking world. Even the earth itself is like, heart chakra, it's time to let go. And she is. And yes, it's devastating to the rest of us, and it's devastating when we see people arguing, but it's all leading towards something. Our hearts need to be clear. Our hearts need to be open for whatever this next step is. And so even though I'm, sending prayers to everybody who's affected by these tragic events, no matter if it's an earthly event or it's like an earth global based event, or it's an event happening because of war or because of other people or whatever, I know that ultimately it's leading to something good. And so of course I pray for people's like safety and health, and that, everybody's going to be okay in the end, but yeah, I think there's a reason we all got to open up our hearts right now. Costalini says, so for you, it's like a whole body emotional feeling, a sudden intense all over emotion. Yeah. And basically it's like I don't know why, but I was like, I just need to laugh right now. I just feel like crying. And sometimes I even tell Riley that I'll be like, I think I want to cry now. He's like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. Me too right now. Lilith's like, do you think if I was to put my voice out there, it'd go well for me? Describe well, because what the soul sees as go well for you is going to be completely different what the ego thinks is go well. So I think you're asking what the ego wants, which is, I put my voice out there, I see these people like being silly willies, and I want to put my voice out there, but the ego's like, but I don't want any repercussion. I want to put my voice out there, but I don't want to get involved. I don't want them to involve me. But putting the voice out there does involve you. So the soul's like, hey man, if you want to do that and you feel like you've observed enough and you would like to engage, this is where you get to test out your boundaries. This is where you get to test your foundation. This is where you get to test your heart chakra. And this is where you get to test out your vocal chakra, your throat chakra. So if you're willing to do that, then of course there's going to be growth, and you might actually feel pretty good about yourself afterwards, because you're like, maybe it didn't go the way that your ego wanted it to go, but the soul's like, heck yeah, I stood my ground. I had my boundaries up. I didn't, okay. I gave them a different perspective. Yeah. Whereas the ego might be like, I threw my voice in, I threw my hat into the ring. Oh, wait, why are you talking back to me? Wait, are you involving me? I don't want to be involved. Like, what the heck? I'm outie 5,000. So yeah, so there's a couple of ways it could go. Either the ego gets really pissy or the soul gets really stoked. So it's up to you. So it's just what you're ready for. And, so if you're not ready to throw your voice out there, then don't. But if you feel like you kind of are, and you're like, I think my boundaries are in place and I think I'm ready to test that foundation, then go for it. And maybe these people will listen to you or will not listen to you, but that's not the point. For you, it's practice. For you, it's growth. If they want to see your perspective, it's also growth for them. But, we can't make people do anything. So, Lilith says, let's say not repeat past cycles. Okay. Costalini says, interesting. Do you see anything? I've heard some people see like a green vortex coming out of their chest. I'll pick up some cacao on the way home to try this. It doesn't always have a color, but yes, it is like a vortex. Like when I'm just inwardly, and I wasn't ever sure if it was just like my imagination but yeah, it's like this. I don't always see it as like a static door, opening or closing. To me, it's like I don't know, it's like the opening of this like spiral vortex thing. And I feel it, like I literally feel it in my chest. I feel it in my heart. And so I usually have my eyes closed. It doesn't really have a color, although sometimes it might. Sometimes it's red or it's pink or it's green. But I pay less attention to the color and more how I feel, because I'm a very feely person, where somebody might be more into color and visualization. So, but yeah, to me, it is like a vortex, and it's like it's going in and it's going out. Like it's so cool. It's like whew, I don't know how to describe that. Like it's a like eternal tunnel that goes inward and eternal tunnel that goes outward. Maybe that's where we connect to our creator. It's like, I don't know. It feels cool though. Not always like super fun, but I like how it feels. It says, thank you. Very interesting to hear what it's like for you. Well, yeah, thank you for letting me share. So yeah, when and sometimes I'm not like sitting down for like 30 minutes, an hour, like working on heart work, but it's more like when I'm like in a prayer, and I'm like, working on some stuff, or if I feel like it's bigger stuff and I need some herbal assistance, that's when I'll do my cacao drink, my chocolate drink. And I'll just like sip that while I'm just in prayer, just like deep prayer, like, okay, I need help through this. What am I not seeing? What can you aid me with? What am I meant to know at this time? Like, what do I, just guide me. And usually the guidance is through how I feel. So where I'm like, okay, well, if I was like waiting for a big booming voice out of the sky of like, Tara, you must work on this, I'd be waiting forever. So I trust that what I feel in my body, that's how the creator speaks to me. It's like all of a sudden I'm like in my prayer, like kind of like laughing. I'm like, oh, okay, I need to laugh. Okay, got it. All right, I'll do it. Like, let's do it. But yeah, definitely like looking at the heart chakra is like this tunnel going both directions. It's super cool. So yeah, thank you guys for allowing me to do my best to answer those questions and share my personal anecdotes. Yeah, so I think maybe it's time. It's time for another taste of pie, and then. Mm. Mhm. To me, this is heart chakra. Strawberries, come on. And peppermint, anything in the mint family, getting things all stimulated so that you can get ready to release it. I mean, I think this is the perfect, like, even though we're after the full moon and the eclipse now, but this is like the perfect releasing, dessert. Why am I throwing dog hair everywhere? But so, yeah, because I mean, we were in the kitchen for a while. It's forcing me to be present, with the strawberries and the peppermint and the eggs and all of it. That's very divine feminine kind of stuff. I mean, even the color, come on. um, so might be something that you want to make or get inspiration to make when you're doing your release work. But I think that strawberry is going to be a good companion for this week, because strawberry can either help us to release, or if we feel like we're kind of all over the place, like energetic diarrhea everywhere. I need help with some boundaries. I need to stiffen that stuff up. Then strawberry leaf, but they're, all parts of the strawberry are there for whatever mode that we need it in, so, and also good for boundaries, good for barriers, because it helps us to relieve symptoms of colds or to stave off a cold or the flu. So cool stuff. So it's kind of the I don't know, jack of all trades kind of plant. I don't want to say just the fruit, because it's more than just the fruit, but yeah, it's like a jack of all trades. master of none, but infinitely better than a master of one. So yeah, I think that the strawberry, although I can think of other herbs that are more well suited for release or better suited for boundaries. I think that that is kind of like the jack of all trades kind of plant. And maybe that's an energy that we want to embody, you know, just being good at a little bit of this, a little bit of that, which means that we got to have more experiences, meet more people. So there's so much that we can learn from this plant, and maybe we'll work with it this week. Maybe make something with it, or a drink, or do chocolate covered strawberries, or maybe you eat strawberries while you're drinking your chocolatl, you know, but I do feel like that is also a very heart-based plant. So cool. On that note, I would like to use my flute, and maybe we'll go out on the back porch. Yes, we shall do our meditation out there. Okay. Ugh. Come with me. Oh, Vader, are you coming? All right, then. That was a screen. I kind of like when he runs into the screen. It's funny. Anyway. All right. Woo. Smells kind of propane-y out here. Let me just check something. Yeah, it's closed. Okay. All right. That's weird. All right. I'm going to get you guys down here. Ooh. There's lots of pretty flowers right now. My goodness. Ooh. Look at these flowers. Can you guys see them? Yeah, these are the garden cosmos. They're so pretty. Garden cosmos. Actually, these are edible. The leaves are edible. The flowers are edible. They have a good amount of nutrients in it, but they're really good for the soil. So not only are they beautiful and bring pollinators, but they also help to put nitrogen back in a nitrogen depleted soil. So, okay, talk about heart chakra, selfless. All right. So go ahead and get yourselves into a nice, comfortable space, a place you'll be undisturbed for the next several minutes. You could be laying in your bed, sitting in a chair. Maybe you're seated on the floor on a cushion, or maybe you are hanging out underneath your favorite tree. Whatever is most comfortable for you. For me, I'm sitting out amongst the plants. And as you get yourself nice and settled, go ahead and bring your awareness to the breath, feeling that rise and fall of your chest. And we are going to breathe into our heart space. So go ahead and place both hands over your heart. And as you breathe in, I want you to breathe in light into that heart space. And every time you breathe out, I want you to release what no longer serves that heart space. But we release it with gratitude, because anything that we've brought into our space served us at one point for one reason or another. But when it served its purpose, it's time to let it go back out into the universe. Allow it to be transmuted into something new. And so as we listen to the flute today, let us call in Strawberry and ask it to guide us where we need to be guided in our heart today, where we need to send more joy, where we need to find boundary, and where we need release do we need to let go of? All right, you guys, go ahead and thank Strawberry for guiding you today. Continue to breathe in love and acceptance and gratitude into that heart space. Thank the Creator for offering all of these medicines here on Mama Gaia. And when you're ready, go ahead and breathe in to your body once again, wiggling those fingers and toes. And when you're ready, have yourself a nice big stretch. Yay! All right, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. And let's go ahead and close out the chat. Head back in. It's actually not too hot out today. Vader went to go hang out with the guests out by the barn. Okay. Yay, what a fun chat. And I got some strawberry meringue pie out of the deal. All right, Costelina said thank you. Lila said thank you, Tara. Send me a smoke signal once you are ready. Yes, for sure. All right, so I will catch you guys later. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Have a great week, and I will catch you spiritual homies later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Stay well, my friends. Peace out. Bye.